Now, up next is where things start to get controversial with our third contender, Levi Ackerman from Attack on Titan. Levi is our smallest fighter, standing at 5'3" and weighing exactly 145 pounds, setting him squarely in the middle of the division. And while Levi doesn't have any powers like any of the other characters, he does have a lot of hand-to-hand combat experience. So while he may be the weakest character on our list, his martial arts training is a bit better than our lower characters. You see, Levi was trained by the Scout Division, which, while primarily focused on aerial combat, did have training in hand-to-hand combat as well. We can see this throughout the recruit training program with the main character Eren Yeager. In this program, we get to see a good bit of boxing and judo training, as well as some jujitsu training. And given that Levi is such a well-respected and effective officer, it stands to reason that his hand-to-hand combat would be on par with Eren. And if you've seen Attack on Titan, you know that there's a lot of mixed martial arts influence in the series. This is because the writer is a big fan of the UFC, so he tends to use a lot of moves he knows from watching. For example, if you watch the training scenes between Annie and Eren, we get to see a lot of good takedowns and boxing. This can also be seen in the fights between Eren and the Armored Titan, in which he not only uses picture-perfect boxing, but also displays some of the best examples of real Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling that we've seen in anime today. And we can assume that Levi at least knows all of the techniques that Eren knows, maybe not to the same degree, but well enough to use them in a fight. So in order to analyze the fighting techniques that Levi uses, we have to look at what Eren does. We get to see him pull off amazing takedowns, double legs, transitions, some high throws. We get to see a proper use of a guard going to a triangle and armbar, and we get to see some amazing boxing using a high guard. This is something that's often overlooked in anime in favor of some flashy Wing Chun style guarding where they stick out their hands to block punches. I've explained before, but Wing Chun is not the most realistic martial art when it comes to real life fighting because it can be very hard to accurately block someone else's punches at full speed without some kind of super senses or super speed. As such, whenever I see a character using a real boxing guard to protect themselves from punches and strikes, I'm gonna give them more points when it comes to combat. So while all that considered, Levi might not be to the same level as Eren or Annie, he is gonna have some proficiency in real world martial arts that's gonna place him above the fighters below him. The biggest struggle Levi is gonna have is gonna be in his height. He's gonna have to get in really close to be effective with his striking against these two other fighters. Gilgamesh could possibly beat Levi with range and distance, keeping Levi away with the jab if that's something in his repertoire, and the same goes for Luffy. So this is a very close matchup due to the size difference, and honestly, these three positions could be interchanged anyway, but just going off pure technique, I'm gonna have to give it to Levi for now.